Most people think Billionaire's Row is the most elite place on Earth. But once you dig into these towers, you realize something insane. The taller they got, the stranger the problems became. And near the end, I'll show you the one engineering rule that experts say could have prevented most of these issues from ever happening. Let's start with the most famous disaster, 432 Park Avenue. When residents moved in, they expected perfection. What they got was sway so intense that one owner said it felt like living on a boat during a storm. Chandeliers shook, picture frames rattled, and people genuinely got motion sickness on windy days. But that was only the beginning. Inside the building, pipes kept exploding. One flood was so bad it sent water 60 floors down, destroying apartments worth tens of millions of dollars. Engineers blamed building movement, but residents blamed poor planning. Either way, the fix cost millions. Now jump a few blocks south to 111 West 57th Street, one of the thinnest skyscrapers ever built. Because of how narrow the tower is, wind hits it like a giant sail. During construction, workers reported terrifying howling sounds inside the elevator shafts, and once it opened, residents complained about elevator failures and constant shuddering noises during storms. And then there's Central Park Tower, the tallest residential tower in the world. This one had a crane incident so serious that NYPD shut down surrounding streets and evacuated nearby buildings. The crazy part? Nobody living there knew how close they came to a disaster until the city reports came out later. There's one more tower people assume is flawless, 220 Central Park South. It's one of the most expensive residential buildings in the world, home to the $238 million penthouse. But even this place ended up with problems owners didn't expect. Shortly after residents moved in, the building dealt with major sound issues. People on the upper floors complained about loud mechanical noises coming from the elevator systems and wind whistling through small gaps in the facade. Some buyers said it ruined the quiet, ultra-luxury experience they were promised. But the real shocker was the foundation vibration problem. Because the building sits right next to the subway lines under 59th Street, residents on lower floors reported feeling constant, low-frequency rumbling whenever certain trains passed. The vibrations were strong enough that furniture would shake slightly, which makes no sense in a building where apartments cost more than most people make in a lifetime. There were even internal disputes over how to fix the issue because any major adjustment meant shutting down sections of the building, something residents paying $10+ million per unit were not happy about. It's a reminder that even the best tower on Billionaire's Row isn't immune to problems once physics gets involved. When you look at all these problems together, a pattern appears. These towers were built fast, thin, and pushed right to the edge of what physics allows. Here's why that matters. These buildings are so slim that even normal wind creates massive force. Developers designed them that way on purpose so they could fit more luxury floors on tiny pieces of land. That leads to the big question. Why did these problems happen in the first place? First, the buildings were engineered to be profitable, not comfortable. Most units were never meant to be lived in. They were investments, so everything was optimized for views and sale price, not long-term durability. Second, construction was rushed. Investors wanted the towers finished fast so they could start selling apartments. Speed creates shortcuts, and shortcuts create problems. And here's the simple rule engineers say could have prevented a lot of this. Limit the height-to-width ratio and force phased construction instead of rushing. Basically, make super talls thicker, take more time building them, and test systems more carefully during construction. If developers followed that, most of the worst issues wouldn't exist. The wildest part? Even with all these problems, units still sell for tens of millions, because buyers want the prestige more than the practicality. But once you know what's actually going on inside these towers, the shine fades fast,